Greetings and welcome to this virtual Sunday service of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Waynesboro for May 3rd, 2020. I'm Tom Engel, lay leader for this service. I'd especially like to welcome any non-members of the fellowship who may be watching this video. We hope you'll find it uplifting and come visit the fellowship on Pine Street once we are able to resume in-person Sunday services. Today our congregation participates in a virtual bridging ceremony, the annual ritual where we celebrate the achievements of students graduating from high school, as well as the parents, guardians, mentors, and others who help them reach this important life milestone, and symbolically send the seniors into the wide world with all the love and support Unitarian Universalists can muster. I'm pretty sure this is the first time our bridging ceremony has been celebrated virtually. The global pandemic has upended life for high school seniors in ways that seem especially disruptive and unfair, and its impacts will likely last long after their graduation. Coping has required special resilience and flexibility by these young people and their families, and we also celebrate these qualities today. The usual infrastructural metaphor applied to the pandemic and social lockdown is the tunnel, as in, is there a light at the end of it, representing our resumption of normal life? But maybe a bridge is an even more compelling and hopeful metaphor. The pandemic has laid bare serious problems in our society and economy. As UU's, our commitment to social justice tells us that after the health crisis is past, we can't simply restore the status quo ante. We must build a bridge to a future society where the inherent worth and dignity of every person is affirmed and promoted. Our high school graduates are climbing on to one end of that bridge. I'm confident they will help build a better America on the other end of it. Now, as we move into today's service and the bridging ceremony, here's a blessing for those climbing onto the bridge, written by Jean M. Olson. It's called Go Boldly. May you be brave enough to expose your aching woundedness and reveal your vulnerability. May you speak your deepest truths, knowing that they will change as you do. May you sing the music within you, composing your own melody, playing your song with all your heart. May you draw, paint, sculpt, and sew, showing the world your vision. May you write letters, poetry, biography, slogans, graffiti, the great novel, laying bare your words to love and hate. May you love even though your heart breaks again and again. And until the end of your days, may your life be filled with possibilities and courage.
We light this chalice for our children and youth, and for us, celebrating the flame of faith lit in each of us, honoring the light each of us bring into the world, rejoicing in the community we create together.
Oh, you got it. All right. It's working on it.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell a story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
This is Bridging Sunday, and as Aoife Barrington Haber has observed in her words, as the child leaves the doorstep, the parent prays, "Please keep my child safe and give me the courage to let them go out to explore the world." The child prays, "Watch over my parents while I am gone, and help them believe that I really do know what I'm doing." The grandparent prays, "Thank you for this precious gift twice given. Let me remember that my child and my grandchild, each is their own person, and let them remember that my door is always open." Our words of prayer this morning are written by Elaine Kazaya. May my wisest self guide me through this day. May she remind me to look through the eyes of wonder and see the abundant beauty of here and now. To live from my toes up, grounded on this precious earth and in this miraculous body. To open my heart, flinging wide its shutters so no defenses cut me off. To employ my hands, to create beauty, to soothe suffering and to unlock potentials. Eyes, feet, heart, hands. From here, I can wake to my life and the gift that it is. From here, I can move through my day with simplest ease. From here, I can spread compassion and love. From here, I can mend the world. May I be in harmony today with the current that flows through all, and may I be faithful, an expression of this sacred source. Here I am. Amen. Each week, whether we're present with each other in our fellowship hall, or as we are now, only meeting virtually, we share the things that are most important in our lives, the things that are personal and near and dear, the things that give us joy, and the things that give us pain. This week, Julie Karen writes, "My concern is that my dad has been in the hospital in Georgia since last Friday with gallstones and an infection. My joy is that he is doing well and had a successful surgery on Wednesday. By the time of this service, he should be back at home resting. Please keep him in your thoughts and prayers." Charlotte Schneider writes, "My joy is that we can see lots of great music performances online, like the Heifetz coming up, and that technology makes it possible to see our friends and family. My sorrow is that it's hard to get going and call people that I know would like to hear from me. Once I make the connection, it's very rewarding and makes me feel better." Paul Rabinowitz writes, "Here is my sorrow for the service on Sunday, May 3rd. Few are guilty, but all are responsible. We have a responsibility to stop bad from happening. I hope we can all avert atrocities from continuing. I know it does involve being depressed sometimes. I know that people who act responsible are appreciated. I do know how beautiful this world is in many ways." He continues, "My nephew Jack, who is 18 years old, has just been diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. He is feeling a little better now that he is on medicine for the disease. He will have to take medicine now for the rest of his life. I am keeping in touch with him. He sounds down, but okay. Let's all hold these joys and sorrows and all those that remain unspoken in our hearts quietly."
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When when I breathe in. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love when I breathe in. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love when I breathe in. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love when I breathe in. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love when I breathe in. I breathe in peace when I breathe out. I breathe out love.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Waynesboro's Bridging Service. I'm Sarah Scarr, the Director of Religious Education. A bridging service is a Unitarian Universalist service that honors youth as they move from the children's religious education side of things into adult religious education. And today at this service we are honoring 3 of our beloved youth: Clara Riggan, who has been with UUFW since she was 6 years old; Andreas Rivera Young, who has been with UUFW since elementary school; and Miguel Rivera Young, who has also been at UUFW since elementary school. I, along with Renee Herrell, have had the pleasure this year of working with them in youth group, and I've gotten to know them over past years as well. And they are all such wonderful, motivated, bright youth. It is just a blessing to have them be a part of our fellowship. And I am so looking forward to the things that they will do outside of our fellowship, as they all have big plans that you're going to hear about soon for themselves for the year ahead. So enjoy this service. And best of luck to Clara, Andreas, and Miguel.
Hi, this is Deborah Hoard in Madison, Wisconsin, and I'm so delighted to be part of this bridging ceremony for Andreas, Clara, and Miguel, 3 people who taught me so much during the time that I spent at the UUFW. I have a lot of memories of the 3 of you, some all together and some individual. And as I was thinking about this, I thought about 3 traits that you all share, and you shared them with us so generously. And I would say that was a real determination and curiosity, also a deep willingness to be present, and thank goodness, patience with the adults that were all around you. For that, I'm very grateful. It was clear to me even before you aged into the UUF youth group that your lives were full, and anything that we were going to create or do together had to feel necessary. I love the fact that some of those very necessary times looked like a group of loving people enjoying a sunny spot on the porch of Chalice House. I still treasure the times Clara's skepticism rang with real truth, and moments when Andreas could turn a comment into a revelation, and how often Miguel's very presence would bring a calm and clarity to the entire group. What a privilege it was for me to make that welcoming space and watch you grow into your true selves. I know this is just the beginning of the next step. I know journeys are long I hope yours is filled with fascinating twists and turns. I hope your heart remains open so that all the passion and the pain that you can experience, you do experience. I want you to remember to be kind. I really want you to thank your parents and hold on to the fact that you are truly loved. Good luck wherever you go and whatever you do next.
Hi there, this is Renee Herrell, and I want to talk to you a bit about what this year has been like as I have worked with our 3 young adults who are bridging this year, Andreas and Miguel Rivera Young and Clara Riggan. We've spent the year talking about UU in general, UUFW in particular. They've worked on some community projects, some of which had to be curtailed because of COVID-19. One in particular was Andreas and Miguel were planning to go to one of the border cities in the United States to study immigration, but of course that could not happen, unfortunately. We've also been involved in sharing the Common Read together, which is an Indigenous Peoples History of the United States. So it's been a great year, despite the shutdown and the virus and all that has entailed. And it's certainly been challenging for these seniors who are missing out on so much of their senior year at this point. But they're handling it with grace and looking forward to this next chapter in their lives, which we've also spent a good deal of time talking about, this particular transition and determining where they want to go and what that's going to be like as they start college next year. So I have found them to be just a great deal of fun, energetic, interesting, and interested, kind, responsible, very bright and articulate students. And I spent most of my life working in higher ed, and I would like to thank the parents of these students because they have really taught them and given them a foundation that they will need in the years to come. And they have learned how to be independent thinkers and problem solvers. And that's not always been the case in the students that I've worked with. So I thank these parents because they have done a tremendous job in giving them these skills that they are going to need in the future. So I really hate to see them leave, but of course they must. And this will be their next chapter. And I wish them well in all that will happen in this next year. I also want to give a shout out to Jack Strickland. He is not bridging this year. In fact, he was the only one who wasn't. So he brought a different perspective, didn't have some of the same issues facing him this year, but of course he will next year. And so most likely has learned from the discussions with these 3 students. And he's got a great sense of humor, very bright, articulate, all of the above. And so I look forward to working with him next year, I hope. And so I just wanted to let you know what a joy it's been to work with the young adults of our congregation. So thank you, take care, be safe.
Good morning. I am Laura Riggan, Clara's mom. Although none of this is happening as we had envisioned it would, we're excited to celebrate a number of milestones for her this month. Her 18th birthday, her high school graduation, and her bridging into adulthood as a UU. Clara is the youngest of my 3 children. For reasons having much to do with my own spiritual evolution as well as that of their dad, all 3 have had quite different experiences in their faith journey so far, including their interaction with this fellowship. As the youngest in the family, Clara has had the longest relationship with UUFW. We arrived here about 10 years ago when she was in the 2nd grade. We had left another church with feelings of disenchantment or disappointment. She says she doesn't have much memory of going to church there, but she missed the friends she had made there. What I found when I came here, though, was a sharp contrast to my experience with faith in this Waynesboro community, though maybe not so far out of alignment with my lived experience. I found people who were open to questions, who openly admitted they didn't have all the answers. I heard sermons that challenged me intellectually and morally. I was inspired by expressions of humor, creativity, honesty, and love. No creed to be recited every week, but 7 principles with words and phrases like inherent worth and dignity, acceptance, equity, justice, truth, right of conscience, and interdependent web. What Clara found, whether she remembers it all clearly or not, was a warm welcome from the DRE, Fran Clark, a vibrant and growing RE program, a church where they don't even talk about Jesus, as she once described it to a visitor in our home, who, as it turned out, was a UU in her own community. She saw friends like Ella Pickering, whom she knew before she got here, and made other new ones, including, over the years, Andreas and Miguel Rivera Young. She received a thorough and honest education, not only in the spiritual lessons of Unitarian Universalism, but also through OWL when she was in middle school. She felt the love and care of various adults who helped guide her religious education. Christina Rivera, Elaine Goss, Ruth Parcells, Kim Newton, Maggie Duncan, Susan Clark, Deborah Hoard, Renee Herrell, Sarah Scar, and many others who served as RE teachers and assistants. What she gained was exactly what I wanted for her: an open mind, a caring heart, an understanding of all those principles that meant so much to me when I got here. So far, Clara's journey has largely been shaped by my choices, but now she will step out into the world and choose her own spiritual path. I don't know where it will lead her, but I know that with the help of this spiritual community, she has been given a strong footing and the tools she will need to guide her in her journey. For that, I am so very grateful to all of you. Thank you.
It has been the honor of my life being mama to Andreas and Miguel. To see them bridge this year is bittersweet, of course, and particularly so in these circumstances, which make this video necessary as opposed to being in person. The UUFW is where my sons have their earliest memories of Unitarian Universalism. From the Easter egg hunts to flower communion, to going from worshiping the youth that are in youth group. I see you, Sage, Mia, Chloe, Jay, Tristan, to becoming one of those kids in the youth group. As RPKs, religious professionals kids, Andreas and Miguel have spent countless hours in the RE house on the UUFW grounds and at TJMC UU in Charlottesville. They've attended more General Assemblies and national gatherings of UUs than most adult UUs or even many ministers. They've served Unitarian Universalism in their community and nationally, and they've done it with faithful servant hearts, unswerving in their faith. They've seen and done it all. And they've done it for a faith and churches which don't always make it easy to be Latino UU, and certainly even more so as a youth of color. They've seen loved ones hurt and mentors ostracized. They've seen a faith that touts its youth and its future, and yet undervalues religious education at every turn. They've seen and heard it all. I'm grateful for the support that all the Bridgers have received in Unitarian Universalism and at the UUFW. And I encourage all of us to do better, to be better stewards of Unitarian Universalism for our children and our youth. They are not just our future, they are our present, and they see us and they hear us. They see and hear it all. All my love to the Bridgers today, and those from the past, and those who will be in our future.
So proud of our sons, Andreas and Miguel Rivera young. Watch them grow into fine young men who have excelled academically, athletically, and socially. Teachers and peers don't just see them as great students, but also as leaders, someone they can rely on and someone they can lean on. Since a very young age, the boys have been doing community service. I've always encouraged them, but this is because of the influence of their amazing mother in the UU Church. Through the UU Church, they've grown up to be socially conscious young men who really, really care and have a very strong sense of social justice and community. It's not always been easy for them to reconcile because of some of the inequalities they've found within the church that they love, and how some of the people that they love have been treated. But through it all, they've remained unwavering in their love for the people in the UU, from their mentors such as Bart Frost and Razik and Deborah, and the many, many lifelong friends that they have made. The future of the UU Church is in great hands if these amazing youth choose to stay and continue worshiping, loving, and moving the church forward. Congratulations to all the Bridgers today. I wish we could all be together. Congratulations, Andreas and Miguel. I'm incredibly proud of you guys. I love you so much.
My name is Clara and I'm a bridging senior. I'll be graduating from Waynesboro High School and Shenandoah Valley Governor's School. My mom brought me and my siblings to the UUFW when I was about 6 after members of our old church were being really ugly towards gay people who wanted to join the congregation. Though I probably haven't been as invested in the RE during my time here as I probably could have been, it has definitely laid a foundation for my understanding of acceptance and respect for the environment and social justice. And though I probably didn't realize it at the time, looking back, I've definitely started to surround myself with people who share and embrace those same values because they're values because those are values that have become really important to me. So I'm thankful that my time in the RE has challenged me to put thought towards those values on a regular basis with my peers as I've been there, and I'm looking forward to starting my next chapter at Virginia Tech next year, and I'm looking forward to pushing myself to continue holding true to the same values that I've acquired while I've been at the UUFW.
I would like to start out by thanking the multiple DREs I've had at this church, the multiple ministers, and to the congregants. You all have made this a special place in my heart. I'd also like to thank my parents for introducing Unitarian Universalism into my life and for helping guide me through it. This church has allowed me to have so many incredible experiences on and off the premises. From Easter egg hunts to water parties, the memories I've had here span many years and events. I remember from the times of Alden, Lydia, Mia, and Chloe, the older teens I looked up to now, where I've replaced their spot as the older teen. I basically grew up here. When I was younger, I would run around the yard outside of Chalice house with my brother while my mom worked inside. But most of all, this church has helped finance the most formative experiences of my life. Between Thrive, Goldmine Leadership Academy, and General Assembly, whenever my family needed help sending us to a UU event, this church came through and made it happen. I've met some of my dearest friends at General Assembly and Thrive, and I'm so grateful for the ability to go there. Thrive was a meeting of UU youth of color where I discovered there were youth exactly like me that cared about the faith in the same way I did, and most importantly, they were youth of color too. At General Assembly, I grew into my role as a leader, becoming the senior dean of the youth section. This faith has given me confidence in who I am. This faith has held me in my times of need, and I'll always love it. I will continue to be a UU, and someday I hope my kid is standing in a church, walking across the proverbial bridge. I've grown up in this faith, and I hope this faith will grow with me. I've been writing my year-long thesis on Unitarianism, and I found one spot in history that felt cyclical and appropriate. When Ralph Waldo Emerson and the Transcendentalist Club came to prominence in the early 1830s, they forced Unitarianism to become even more liberal than the generation before. I think this generation faces the same challenge of wanting a more liberal faith, and I hope as I bridge into adulthood, I can continue to help move this faith that I care about so deeply. It's interesting how things always come full circle, albeit often not in the way you'd expect them to. I guess bridges always arch longingly towards the other shore, even if you're not aware of exactly where it is you're going when you step on its cobblestone roots at first. When I began coming to this church, playing soccer in the courtyard of my brother as my mom went about her work here, I found a great cornerstone to my bridge. Without my foundation here, all the rest would fall apart. I'd be one miserably wet teenager, stuck in the waters between where I began and what I'm becoming. When I first became active in the church community, at a national level, I attended my first Unitarian Universalist General Assembly, our national gathering, in Providence, Rhode Island. In many ways, it's fitting that although I was admittedly still a child then, this was the place where I first had some adult-like freedoms, and the responsibility choosing for myself how to shape and mold my own experience. It was middle school, but I began to figure out how to shape my own narrative and decide for myself who I wanted to be, religiously and beyond. Some of you may know that this year's General Assembly was supposed to be held in the same space, Providence, Rhode Island. All these years later would finally be the year I bridged. It made perfect sense to conclude my journey from adolescence into adulthood at the place it all started for me, coming back to the place I'd been as a completely different and self-actualized person, ready to confront the challenges facing our faith and our future. I also thought it perfectly fitting to end my journey with you all, in the same congregation where my religious life took root and blossomed so fruitfully. But unfortunately, life has a cruel sense of humor, like an Adam Sandler making bad movies type of really cruel humor.
Both these events have evaporated before my eyes, along with the rest of my senior year in its entirety. Suddenly, a great fog rolled in across the sea, skimming across the waves delicately, but imperiously. I was not able to see the end of my bridge, where exactly I was heading. But I'm trusting my feet to take me in the right direction, and with each step I take these days, I feel the confidence in me, instilled by the belief of you all, for all of my years, just steadfastly inspired me to gaze at the horizon with a grin, and know someday I'll make it to the other side. Fortunately, I feel as though maybe I've illustrated an incomplete image of my journey, broadcasting what now seems like a broken loop, 400-meter track with the home stretch all missing. But it's interesting how things always come full circle, albeit often not in the way you'd expect them to. Next year, I'll be going to university up in Providence, and I know that when the gondolas finally streak out into the water again, lighting the river on fire as they do on occasion, I'll look at that gleaming chalice before me, as I did when I was in middle school, mesmerized for the very first time, and utter my prayer of thanks to you all, as I feel my feet on the earth, having crossed the threshold onto the verdant earth on the other side of the bridge. Profoundly, I thank you.
I'm reading the book, Oh, the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. You are on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the guy who will decide where to go. You'll look up and down streets, look them over with care. About some you will say, I don't choose to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not-so-good street. And you may not find any you'll want to go down. In that case, of course, you'll head straight out of town. It's opener there in the wide open air. Out there, things can happen, and frequently do, to people as brainy and footsy as you. And then things start to happen. Don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along. You'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go, you'll be on your way up. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to high heights. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be the best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. Except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say so, but sadly it's true that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you. You can all get hung up in a prickly perch, and your gang will fly on. You'll be left in a lurch. You'll come down from the lurch with an unpleasant bump, and the chances are then that you'll be in a slump. And when you're in a slump, you're not in for much fun. Unslumping yourself is not easily done. You'll come to a place where the streets are not marked. Some windows are lighted, but mostly they're darked. A place you could sprain both your elbow and chin. Do you dare to stay out? Do you dare to go in? How much can you lose? How much can you win? And if you go in, should you turn left or right in 3/4, or maybe not quite? Or go around back and sneak in from behind? Simple, it's not, I'm afraid you will find. For a mind maker upper to make up his mind. You can get so confused that you'll start in to race down long wiggled roads at a breaknecking pace, and grind on for miles, cross weirdish wild space, headed, I fear, for a most useless place, the waiting place, for people just waiting for a train to go, or a bus to come, or a plane to go, or the mail to come, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow, or the waiting around for a yes or a no, or waiting for their hair to grow. Everyone is just waiting for the fish to bite, or waiting for the wind to fly a kite, or waiting around for a Friday night, or waiting perhaps for their Uncle Jake, or a pot to boil, or a better break, or a string of pearls, and a pair of pants, or a wig with curls, or another chance. Everyone is just waiting. No, that's not for you. Somehow you'll escape all that waiting and staying. You'll find the bright places where boom bands are playing. With banner flip-flapping once more you'll ride high, ready for anything under the sky. Ready because you're that kind of guy. Oh, the places you'll go, there's fun to be done. There are points to be scored, there are games to be won. And the magical things you can do with that ball will make the winningest winner of all. Fame, you'll be as famous can be, with the whole wide world watching you win on TV. Except when they don't, because sometimes they won't. I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play lonely games too. Games you can't win because you'll play against you. All alone, whether you like it or not. Alone will be something you'll be quite a lot. And when you're alone, there's a very good chance you'll meet things that scare you right out of your pants. There are some down the road between hither and you that can scare you so much you won't want to go on. But on you will go, though the weather be foul. On you will go, though your enemies prowl. On you will go through the hack and cracks howl. Onward up many a frightening creek, though your arms may get sore and your sneakers may leak. On and on you will hike, and I know you'll hike far and face up to your problems, whatever they are. You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll get mixed up with many strange birds as you go. So be sure when you step with care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. Just never forget to be dexterous and deft, and never mix up your right foot with your left. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. So, be your name Buxbaum or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai, Alley, Van Allen, O'Shea. You're off to the great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way.
For our bridgers today, I offer a blessing written by Robert Kaufman. We wish for you a storm or two that you may enjoy the calm. We wish for you tranquility in time of trial. We wish you a cool breeze on a warm day and pale white clouds that you may better appreciate the blueness of the sky. We wish you darkness that you may see the stars. We wish you anticipation of high adventure, and we wish you the courage to avoid battle. We wish you a sense of wonder and poetry and music. We wish you companionship that you may appreciate solitude. We wish you a friend who will understand you, and understanding so that you may have a friend. We wish you may become all that you wish to be, and more than you hope that you can be. We wish you a flower to smell, a hand to touch, a voice to cheer, a heart to gladden. And we wish you someone to love as we love you. Best wishes and much love for success and adventure in your life as you go forth, Clara, Andreas, and Miguel.
I extinguish this chalice as a symbol of my commitment to the values of Unitarian Universalism. May its light be a beacon of hope to me and to all who seek freedom, truth, and meaning in life.
by row. We're gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Pulling weeds, picking stones, we are made of dreams and bones. Feel the need to grow my own, 'cause the time is close at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, find my way in nature's chain. I tune my body and my brain to the music of the land. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. So plant your rows straight and long, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth can keep you strong if you give her love and care. Old crow's watching hungrily from his perch in yonder tree. In my garden I'm as free as that feathered thief up there. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down.
I sing.
You did.